Gonna hit record and we're gonna get started. So again, it's just great to be with you. I'm going to change my little playlist there. And to get started this evening, it's always nice to kind of create your space. And as you can see, we took down our awnings the other day, so now you can see the shadows of my dining room chairs, since this is the room where I practice, which is kind of fun. So having your space set up in a way that offers you this opportunity to create a sacred space for yourself, I think that's the most important thing that we can do. I have a candle lit. I always like to do that, and I have a little diffuser, so that's always nice. Getting your props together. Maybe you have an eye pillow. Maybe you have an aromatherapy. I'm just going to pop those off to the side. I have 3 blankets that we'll be using in some different ways. So 3 folded blankets. I'm just going to put those off to the side. Pillows. Everyone has different pillows. Maybe you have a couple of large bed pillows like I have here. And I have 2 smaller pillows as well. And again, you can kind of take whatever props you have around. They don't have to be the same 2 pillows. Everything, it's really eclectic. I have a couch cushion. Now, some people might have a bolster. If you have a bolster, bolsters are lovely. I really like having a bolster. I use it for a lot of different things. You can find them pretty cheap online. I also have a round bolster, but I have this couch cushion in place of a bolster. So if you have a bolster, maybe you have that, and maybe you have a chair cushion or a couch cushion, and that works out too. So just kind of having a variety of props around. Of course, having a blanket to cover up with in case you get chilly. I think that's a really nice also. And we're going to begin lying down. And the way I'd like for us to do this is we're just actually going to come all the way to the ground. So I've told you about all these props, and I'm going to tell you don't worry about them right now. What I'd like for you to have, though, is a blanket or under the back of your head, maybe a folded blanket. And the other blankets, you can just kind of have them off to the side. Coming onto your back, taking your time getting there, having all your cozies all around, slowly lowering. And uh, what you'd like to have is support under the back of your head. Now, a pillow can work too, but a blanket, I just feel like a blanket's a little bit lower, so that can be kind of nice. You might roll up the bottom of your blanket. You place it under the back of your head as well. That can support the nape of your neck a little bit better. My ponytail in, so I gotta pull it a little bit to get myself comfortable. And we're coming into a supported relaxation posture. Have your feet on the ground and your knees fall in towards each other. If you have glasses on, you might remove them and just place them off to the side. And let your hands come to rest on your abdomen, somewhere they feel comfortable. You can kind of move around here a little bit, shifting, and we're not coming into a place of softness quite yet, because we'll find some other movements, but hopefully you're still able to find some relaxation here with your hands resting on your body. Let your eyes soften and close. You might rock your head a little from side to side. Let your chin come a little bit towards your chest, which encourages a lengthening of the back of your neck. Your shoulders soften and relax, and your forehead softens as well. And feeling your breath from under your hands. Feeling the warmth and gentle pressure of your hands. And with each exhalation, allowing your shoulders to relax a little bit more, allowing your back body to relax a little bit more. Just lying down can begin to elicit that relaxation response. And as you notice your breath, maybe it deepens, maybe it lengthens. Maybe your belly starts to gurgle a little bit, another signal that your body is beginning to relax and that you're stimulating that rest and digest response. And as your breath moves in and out through your nose, just allow yourself to soften. And feel your belly soften. Settling into this sacred time that you've set aside for yourself to release, to unwind, to relax, and to encourage the flow of energy through your body to balance out. With your hands continuing to rest on your body, let your knees come away from each other, and you're going to let your knees fall to one side and back through center and to the other side. You might have to scooch some of your props out of the way and just windshield wipe the legs, letting them fall from side to side, getting a gentle stretch through your hips, through your low back. And your hands, they just drift across your belly. They drift from side to side. Kind of going along with the rhythm as your knees fall to one side, your hands maybe drift over to the opposite side ribs, and you can place as much or as little pressure as feels good here. You're giving yourself this nice abdominal massage as you make your way into your hips, to your low back. Returning to your breath when you notice that you're not paying attention to it. Relaxing and breathing. And coming back to center. Let your feet walk a little closer in towards your hips. So your hips and your knees are kind of aligned. Let your arms come down to the sides of your body. Readjusting your chin so that it's a little bit more tilted towards your chest. And we're going to rock the pelvis. It's just going to be gentle rocking to start, letting your pelvis tilt one direction and then the other. And as your pelvis tilts, maybe it draws your spine down a little bit and the back of your neck gets a little stretched on that blanket as well. Pressing through the bottoms of your feet as you find this very gentle rocking of your pelvis. And this type of rocking is helpful in feeling a sense of being grounded and supported by the earth, which is very important for us in order to feel safe so that we're better able to relax. We're going to evolve this movement into some flowing bridge movements. So as you press through your feet, maybe your pelvis tilts kind of one direction, and then you can lift your hips. Maybe you lift your spine and then lower your spine and your hips back down. Maybe you tilt your pelvis in the opposite direction. So just play around a little bit, pressing through your feet, kind of tilting your pelvis so that it draws inward, and then lifting it up, lifting your spine, lowering back down very slowly. And or maybe you just stick with that rocking, that gentle rocking of the pelvis. Gonna let your arms come into play if it feels good as you press through your hips or press through your feet and your hips lift. Maybe your arms reach up and back behind you. As you lower, maybe your arms come back up and down to your sides. So you can kind of play around a little bit with this movement, and it doesn't have to look graceful, it doesn't have to be terribly coordinated. We're bringing that bridge, that flowing bridge movement up the spine a little bit more and kind of up to the arms. It's like you're finding the wave coming back down your hips and your arms and your hands. Feeling free to linger anywhere that you would like. Maybe there's a place to linger. Maybe it feels very nice to have your arms stretched back behind you and your hips lifted. And then maybe it feels nice to linger with your hips and your arms lowered to the ground and just taking a few breaths there. We'll just play around with this movement for a few more moments. Encouraging space between each vertebrae and also just giving yourself a massage on your back body. And finally coming back to hips on the ground, arms alongside of you. And now draw your knees in towards your chest. And rock your knees from side to side. Let your head tilt in the opposite direction as your knees. And just breathing, relaxing, feeling this gentle twist. Coming back to center, let your hands be on your knees and press your knees away from you and make some circles. Your knees can go in opposite directions, pressing them away, making circles. Maybe your feet and toes want to move a little bit here as well, and that's perfectly fine. Straightening out your arms and bending your elbows. All of this sort of gentle yoga, these gentle flowing movements. really help to prepare us for rest, especially after we've had a day with whatever we've been doing. Go the opposite direction with your knee circles. This is a really lovely abdominal massage, also. And now letting your knees come in, give them a squeeze and bring your chin more towards your chest, maybe lifting the back of your head off of your blanket or whatever support is there, and then return it down. Let your feet come to the ground, and we're going to roll over to one side, just being there for a few moments. Rolling to your side, you can let your arms cross and bring your hands to your shoulders and just rub your upper arms, rub your shoulders, your upper arms. And find a few deep breaths here, relaxing your jaw. And then patting each shoulder, little butterfly pats. Patting and tapping and self massage are all wonderful ways to kind of calm the nervous system and encourage the flow of energy through the body, which is really what we are doing in any yoga practice and any movement practice, qigong, tai chi. But patting, especially patting and tapping, can be quite helpful. You've heard of emotional freedom technique, or sometimes it's just called tapping. That stems from the understandings of acupressure and of our qigong practices as well. Patting your shoulders, and now we're going to slowly roll forward to bring ourselves up to a seat. So let your chin stay tucked. Keeping your chin tucked so that as you come up, the change in altitude isn't too jarring. And, and then make your way into a seat. You can grab your glasses and place them back on for a few moments as you shift around in your seat. And I encourage you to maybe put a little bit of softness under your hips. I'm going to grab my blanket and just stick it under my hips. It can also feel nice if coming into a cross-legged seat, having a little bit of support under your knees. That can be kind of nice also, or sitting however it works for you. Just gonna sit up nice and tall and take a deep breath and then let it go. I'm going to play around a little bit more with a tapping practice. So begin by rubbing your hands together, just getting them nice and charged. And then we're going to karate chop the outside edge of the hand. This is a very gentle karate chop. Another way to do this would be to take one set of fingertips. Actually, try that because that feels, to me, that has kind of a different sensation. The karate chop seems too active. This letting your fingertips just gently tap the outside edge of your hand. That feels really nice. And this is good for the heart. This is actually we're kind of tapping on the meridian for the small intestine, which is a fire element organ. The small intestine is sometimes called the royal food taster. It makes sure that whatever is served to the emperor, the heart being the emperor, is good and sound. I love that. Oh, that kind of thing. It's just fun. Let's go to the other hand and just taking your fingertips. I'll tap the other hand and just breathing as you do, letting it be soft. And if you need to adjust your seat, adjust your seat. You could always sit in a chair. Of course, you took your cushion off your chair because I told you to. Oh, giving yourself some gentle taps. encouraging the royal food tester that all we really want to let into our heart is the stuff that will be nourishing and will really assist us on our way. And now we're going to take fingertips and tap between the eyebrows. Tapping between the eyebrows. And um, as we continue to tap, we'll find a couple other places on the face, and it might be advantageous to remove glasses. So I'm going to go ahead and remove mine. I just will stick them in my shirt. That's my little tactic there. It works for me. So we're tapping between the eyebrows or the inside edge of the eyebrow. And now we're going to tap on the outside edge of the eyebrow. And tapping can be helpful if we're feeling anxiety. It helps with general anxiety and also with depression. We're thinking about something or ruminating. This is a great method to utilize. They've found it to really assist with the removal of anxiety around situations or memories, trauma. Now we're going to take our tapping fingers under the eyes. This is where not having your glasses on is helpful. So under the eyes, kind of on the cheekbone, relaxing your face. And now we're going to bring our tapping fingers to under the nose. So you're between the nose and the upper lip. But you're not on the teeth, you're kind of above the teeth, kind of more on the gums. You could do this with one hand, with both hands. Relaxing your face, relaxing your jaw. And then bringing your tapping fingers to under the lower lip. Again, not tapping on the teeth, tapping kind of on the gums underneath of the teeth. Letting your jaw relax, letting your eyes soften. Taking your time. And now bringing your glasses back to your eyes. That's what I like to do when I'm doing this tapping practice, and coming under the collarbone. These gentle fingertips, encouraging also the relaxation of the tissue. Tapping under the collarbones is also beneficial for the health of our lungs. Very important during times of transition, especially in the autumn season. And next, we're going to tap on the ribs. So you can do this a couple different ways. You might give yourself a hug and kind of tap on the ribs, or you can tap on the low ribs like this. You know, kind of play around with both ways. This one's kind of nice because you're giving yourself a hug, and I definitely like giving myself a hug. I think it feels really good. And now let that go and take a deep breath in and just maybe sigh. We're going to come into a posture called resting frog. And it's an interesting one that I just felt like I really wanted to have in our practice tonight. But follow along with me and we'll take it slow. It can be quite a hip opener. So we're going to take our time. Unfold two of your blankets, and you're going to put them towards what's going to be the lower end of your mat, where your legs are going to go. So I'm unfolding two of my blankets and I'm having them out here. This is where my froggy legs are going to land when I come into my resting frog. Now grab your bolster or your uh, cushion, and also grab a blanket to cover up the backside of you with when we come into this posture. That can feel really nice. Now, I'd like you to take one or two of your bed pillows for your stomach to go on, and then we're going to take another blanket, and this is where your forehead is going to go. Your forehead is going to rest on this blanket up here. So our legs are here, our belly is going here from our hips, and if you're like me, because I have a little bit more height here with the two pillows, I might have to roll my blanket up a little bit more, or maybe I stack another pillow on top of my blanket. But what I want is I want my neck to be free of any support. I want my arms to rest down at my sides. And then as I get myself comfy, maybe I bring my knees out to the sides, and you're like little frog legs. Your ankles go straight down from your knees. So play around with that. And if this is just like an immediate no, bring your legs back out and let them be straight behind you. And just see if you can relax here for the duration of this posture. Still having this resting on your belly, on your front side of your body. But if you're able to have your knees in your little resting frog pose, again, you might have a blanket covering up your backside. I just have mine exposed so that you're able to see what I'm doing. Remove your glasses, push them off to the side. Once you get yourself in a position where your neck is not being pushed into your pillows, your arms rest kind of with your palms facing down, and you have your little frog legs, and I'll make sure you have enough support so that you feel like you can really sink into the support. And when you do, it can be surprisingly relaxing to be in this posture. Really allowing your front body to release into the support. And breathe into the backs of your lungs, letting your breath travel to the backs of your lungs, expanding them. And it reminds me of the way a baby looks when you have them on their belly. And I'm not sure how you're supposed to have them today, really, but there was a time where you'd want to have them on their stomach and then say you should keep them on their back. But when they're on their stomach, you can see their breath move with great ease up and down. Their whole side ribs expand and their breath expands from kind of their neck all the way down to their tailbone. So allowing your breath to expand and relaxing your jaw, relaxing your eyes, and really softening into resting frog. This posture encourages a relaxation of the muscles on your back body. It's a hip opener as well, so it's encouraging the stretching of the psoas muscle. Your psoas is part of your hip flexors, and it winds around the lower portion of your spine as well, and so it very much connects the hips to the spine, to the body, legs to the body. Listen to your breath. And just allow yourself to be here. Allow any deep tension in the body to sort of relax and melt away. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. We're going to begin to bring ourselves out of this resting frog posture. So, bringing your legs to straighten out behind you. And bring your hands alongside under your shoulders as much as they can. And then start to bend. And you're going to come into sort of a child's pose if you can, sinking your hips back down towards your heels and just allowing your body to be supported still, letting your head rest, maybe one ear down towards the pillow, and just rest here for a moment. It's important to go slow, and it's easy to feel reactive, have things to do and doing one thing after the next, trying to save time, but really when we're here, we're able to sort of expand the space around our experience, take our time, and then maybe we feel a little less rushed in other aspects of our lives. And slowly come back up to a seat, and I'm gonna grab my glasses. I always try to place them in places where I won't squish them. I'm gonna move your cushion out of the way. And I'm going to take two of my bed pillows. I'm going to sit side saddle, so sitting next to the bed pillows. And a round bolster can also work nicely for this particular activity that we're going to do next. You might also like to have a pillow between your knees since I have some pillows, I'm going to bring a pillow between my knees. And I'm going to keep this blanket here as we come into this kind of side stretch. So walking your hand a little forward. We're draping our ribs over the blanket. And then you might have a blanket under your arm, or you might bring a blanket between your head and your arm, and the palm of your hand faces up. I'm going to keep my blanket down here just because of my microphone. See if you can let your head relax and rest. And if it feels okay, you could extend your legs. You might even scissor your legs. Which way feels better? I think scissoring them so the upper leg is back and the lower leg is forward can feel nice also. So you can kind of play around with where your legs are. And you're going to take your fingertips to your shoulders and start to draw a circle on the ceiling. And this is sometimes called tracing the moon. If it feels okay, you might extend your arm and trace the moon with your fingertips. Feeling that stretch, bending as much as feels good. Maybe you bend your elbow a little. Feeling the stretch in your side ribs. Tracing the moon. And go the other direction, tracing the moon. Letting your breath flow. And eventually we're going to bring this upper arm over. Maybe the hands touch. Or if the shoulder is bothered by that, maybe the arm kind of rests a little bit forward of your chest and the palm of the hand relaxes on the ground. So seeing how this half moon works for you. Breathing into the space in your side ribs and your armpit. Maybe the stretch goes all the way down into your hip as well. Letting your breath flow naturally and just relaxing into the posture. And so again, if it feels better to have your arm a little forward with the palm facing down, if that helps you to close your eyes and rest, I highly recommend it. Anything you can do to make yourself a little more comfortable encourages that release of the tissue. And especially here in these side ribs, think about the diaphragm and how it's connected to the side ribs, and it's sort of that umbrella-shaped organ that's a muscle that's pressing down on your internal organs and the abdomen, and is assisting the lungs in their expansion. It's assisting the heart. We want to have a lot of freedom in our diaphragm. We want it to be able to expand and breathe into the side rib. Just taking some nice deep breaths and maybe removing your glasses if that feels good to you. Always feel free to remove them whenever you feel like, yes, I'm relaxing. And your eyes soften and your jaw relax. And we're going to start to come out of this posture. If your arm is kind of up overhead, you can now bring it so the elbow is down sort of in front of your chest and your palm comes down as well, bending your knees and slowly rolling towards your belly. And we're going to come into a tabletop. Oops. go. I'm coming into tabletop and letting your hands kind of underneath of your shoulders. We're going to make some circles with the hips. So circling the hips one direction and pressing into your hands, letting your hips sink back and coming forward and just finding some nice gentle movement and taking your time. And we'll go the other direction. Pressing through your hands, maybe extending your fingers a little bit more, getting a stretch through your fingers and your wrists. And then we'll come back to a tabletop and make your way to your other side. So now we're going to sit side saddle to our blankets. We're going to find that same shape on this side. So you might have a pillow that you place between your knees and you have a blanket up for your head and you can kind of stretch your ribs and allow your rib cage to relax over your pillows. Maybe you bring a blanket underneath of your arm, or maybe you bring it between your head and your upper arm. Maybe you extend your legs if that feels good. You could even have the upper leg coming back and the bottom leg going forward, kind of having a scissor with your legs. And when you get yourself comfortable here, being kind to yourself. So, thinking about your arm extended underneath of your head and maybe it feels better to bend the arm or even to have the head resting on the pillow and the arm is bent with the palm facing up. That could be that too. So, kind of feeling it out what feels right to you. And then bringing your fingertips of the upper arm to the shoulder, and we'll trace the moon. So, tracing the moon, maybe removing your glasses if you have glasses on, and just softening as you trace the moon. You can also extend your arm if that feels good, and kind of let your fingertips trace the moon, feeling that stretch through your shoulder. It makes its way from your fingertips all the way into your neck. Maybe you feel the stretch into your side ribs, into your abdomen or your hip, and go the other direction with your circles. Notice your breath. Let your breath come along with you. And then bringing your upper arm, your palms of your hands kind of coming together. Maybe your upper arm touches your wrist, or maybe your upper arm relaxes with the palm of the hand touching the ground, with the elbow bent. So, kind of playing around, seeing which variation is going to be more constructive for you and your experience. And even if the arm is a little bit forward, you're still getting to enjoy that stretch through your side body. So always being willing to make adjustments. If this arm starts to fall asleep, the one that's under, maybe you bring it out in front of you and adjust your pillow so that your shoulder doesn't have the same kind of pressure on it. No, things are not, there's no one size fits all experience. So just finding what works for you and wherever you go, seeing if it's a place where you can really soften and just breathe. Some of these postures are a bit more, a bit more difficult for us. Some of them are easier. Some of them feel very immediately comfortable, and others take a little sinking into, or there's a greater resistance. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have to honor our bodies. We have to listen to what our bodies tell us. But if you're in a posture and you're able to relax, if there isn't any pain, and you're able to utilize the props around you, that's why having so much softness can be so helpful. Being able to utilize that softness, then maybe you're um, able to kind of work through whatever block is there, and just very gently with your breath and your kindness towards yourself and your willingness to make adjustments, nourishing yourself. Begin to bring your hand, your upper hand, if it's overhead, bringing it so that your hand comes down to the ground, and you're able to roll yourself forward to come back to tabletop, where we're going to play around a little bit again with some of those hip circles. But what I'd like to do also is maybe bring your cushion back into play. Bring your couch cushion or chair cushion, and then your blanket. And we're going to kind of find a little bit of a sphinx pose, or um, a cobra. So maybe your hands come down to the ground, and you can kind of let your hips relax. Press through your hands and see if you can open your chest a little bit. Maybe you have too many pillows. Maybe I have too many pillows. But I don't know. This feels pretty good. It's kind of playful. And then bring your hips back into a child's pose. Move your wrists around. You're gonna play it on your pillow fort. We're gonna come back into that Sphinx pose. So, kind of rounding and then pulling forward. Let your hips be supported. Lift through your chest, and take a nice breath. Maybe your shoulder blades relax down a little bit, and you smile. Then come back into your child's pose, shifting your hips towards your heels, and let your arms really stretch out. Let your fingers move around a little bit. This can feel kind of nice too. Maybe you're able to sink the hips and pull a little bit through your armpits, and then take a big inhale and let it go. And then we'll come back to tabletop. We'll scoot our little supports out of the way and find a few more of those hip circles, kind of circling one direction and then the other direction. I'm going to come back, and I'd like to find thread the needle. And one way that this can work out nicely is if you take your pillow, maybe even two pillows. And this is a stretch on the shoulder. I'm going to reach one arm up, fingertips kind of in the direction of the upper corner of your room, and then bring it under and sort of thread it under the other arm, and let your head come down to blanket, come down to the pillow, whatever works here, trying to get a nice stretch on kind of the area between your shoulder blade and your spine. Breathing there, and see if your head can really soften I'm hovering my head since I have my little headphone in the side, and that just won't work. And maybe you sink your hips towards your heels again and breathe. Press through your hand that's on the ground and reach back up. Let your arm unwind, fingertips reach up, and bring the arm back down. Now we'll do the other side. Let your arm extend up and thread the needle. Bring the arm underneath of your other arm. Let your head come down to the pillows, down to softness. Let your fingers relax, your shoulder and wrist relax, and getting this nice stretch, nice space between your spine and your scapula. And breathing into that. Press through your hand that's on the ground and unwind. Let your fingertips come back up, and then bring your arm back down. Come to a seat. And then we're going to set ourselves up to lie back down. And we're not coming into final relaxation yet, but I would like for you to have one blanket under your spine, maybe one of these long blankets you have under your spine. And we're going to find a twist. And last week we did that twist lying down, and I'd really like to do that one again. So if that worked for you, we're going to try that again. I'm going to just fold one of these blankets up so that it's got a little bit of thickness to it. And this is where my hips are going to land. And now I also have this couch cushion that we could use. And so that's another thing that's nice to have. Maybe you have the couch cushion off to the side where your knees are going to fall, or you could even sit up on the couch cushion if you want a little more height under your hips. So you can have it either way. Now, when you have without the couch cushion, my hips are not all that high, but I'm still coming down, and there's still some height there. I want to have my hip points right over, kind of directly over the blanket, kind of by the edge of the blanket. And I'm going to bring my knees up and then have them come to the side. So maybe I have just my couch cushion here, or maybe I have a little extra height of the couch cushion. And again, you kind of have to play around with these things. I'm going to put the couch cushion under me, and I'm going to put my blankets off to the side. And then when I lie back, I have a little more height as well, which kind of feels good to me. And so it can be either way, bringing your knees in and then letting them fall to the side. You might have a pillow that you can place under your shoulders off of the ground. That could feel really nice. So playing around with it, and it's kind of fun to revisit a posture that we did recently, because then you sort of know what to expect, and you can play around a little bit with your experience from last time. Let's see if you can kind of soften into the support beneath you. If your hands and wrists can relax, your jaw can relax. Supported twists offer a squeeze and soak of the abdominal organs. They also help to relax the tightness on those large muscles that support the spine. take a deep breath and let it go. And bring your knees to center, readjusting yourself and your hips on the support underneath of them. And if you're able to just move your pillows to the other side, do that without getting up. But if you have to get up, be sure to roll to your side and then press yourself up just to encourage your nervous system to relax. There's no rush, and sometimes you whack yourself in the face with your pillows, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Readjusting yourself, maybe on your cushion, maybe on your blanket. Bring your knees into your chest and let them fall to the other side. Maybe you bring a pillow under your shoulder if you need a little more support under your shoulder. You might have a hand on your belly. Maybe your hand reaches and kind of gives your side ribs a little pet, a little pat. And just letting yourself rest here. Finding a sigh, being supported by the support beneath you, the supportive support. Take a deep inhale and let it go. Bring your hips back to center. Your whole body kind of realigns. And we're coming off of the bolster, off of the blanket under your hips. And to do so, rolling off and be mindful of the height. Sometimes maybe grab another blanket to help you. And we'll slowly roll back up to a seat. And we'll make our way into our final relaxation. And how I'd like to do that today is to use this bolster or couch cushion, whatever you have. We're going to take a blanket and I'm going to roll a blanket up. And we're going to take a pillow. And now we have a little ramp, placing the rolled blanket on the cushion and then the pillow as a little ramp. And you can keep this blanket underneath of you for some extra softness. You might have a pillow, a smaller pillow on either side for your arms. You can have a blanket for under the back of your head. You want to get yourself extra cozy, extra soft. You can take your blanket and placing your legs over your bolster setup, making sure your heels feel supported. My heels touch that cushion, or if they don't, you have another pillow and you can place another pillow underneath and make an extra long ramp. Generous with yourself. And then starting to bring your blanket onto you. I really highly recommend having a blanket for this final relaxation since we'll be here a little bit longer. And even if you're not chilly right now, the more we relax, the chillier we get. I want to grab your eye pillow and just place it on your upper leg and grab your aromatherapy, whatever that is for you. And then coming onto your back, you want your hips to be on the ground. You want to have feel nice and supported, that your legs feel good. You can even kind of lift your hips and then tilt your pelvis, pressing your buttocks down and release your sacrum, your tailbone into the ground. That can feel nice. And make sure your head has enough support so that your chin points down a little bit. Check out how you want your arms to be. Maybe you bring a blanket or bring a pillow so that they're right under your upper arms. And that way, as you're resting, maybe your hands can rest on your belly. Once you have all of that situated in a very comfy way, I'm going to remove glasses and place them off to the side and get some of your aromatherapy. Place it in your hands, abs. I have this heart chakra oil that I just got the other day, and I love it. It has petitgrain and rosewood, geranium, ylang ylang. Tons of fun stuff in it. So whatever you have that you like. Maybe you have your Jergens and you just love the way I love the way Jergens smells, the original. And then bringing your hands to your nose. Take a few deep breaths. And feeling the scent, smelling it, letting it really seep into your being. And then maybe even anointing your body, sore spots or your chest under your collarbones, your belly, and just kind of anointing yourself wherever you'd like to place that scent that elicits relaxation. And then getting your eye pillow, placing it over your eyes, cover up and settle in, making any final adjustments that will encourage your relaxation. Feel your breath. Move all the way down into your belly. And envision that in your belly there's this beautiful ball of light. As you inhale, that ball of light expands. And as you exhale, it condenses and strengthens. As you inhale, it expands, and each time it expands, it extends a little further away from its point of origin. And with each exhale, it grows stronger and brighter. This beautiful ball of healing light expanding, growing stronger and brighter. working its way from your belly into your pelvis and your chest, expanding into your hips and your shoulders. And this light expands into your legs, your arms, expanding and strengthening. It expands into your fingers and into your toes. Expands from the base of your spine to the crown of your head, throughout your face. Your whole body filled with this beautiful healing light originating from within yourself. And as you continue to breathe, allowing yourself to relax and soften upon your exhale as this light naturally makes its way throughout your body. And as you breathe and you rest, it expands, form sort of a bubble around your body as well. A bubble of light and protection, only allowing that which is helpful and useful to you to permeate it. You're filled with light, and this light extends out from you. And with ease and effortlessness, it interacts with your environment. Beautiful bubble of healing light, and the light that fills your body and extends out into your environment, encouraging the ease, encouraging only that which is helpful and useful to enter, permeate it. And with this bubble around you, you rest and recharge. With each exhalation, sinking a little more deeply into your support. Feeling safe and feeling nourished. This beautiful light that comes from within you, that fills your body, your being, and extends into the world around you, encouraging a sense of ease and allowing that which is helpful and useful to permeate it. It travels with you, always there. You're always filled with light. And smile into that light. And take a deep breath in and let it go. And start to move your fingers and your toes, your wrists and ankles. And extend your arms and find a full body stretch and maybe a yawn. Then bending your knees, and roll slowly over to your side. And push any supports out of your way. And when you get to your side, keep your eyes closed as your eye pillow falls off of your eyes so that the light isn't too jarring. And give yourself that hug again. And rub your upper arm. And very slowly begin to roll forward to press yourself up to a seat. As you arrive, shift yourself from side to side and from front to back. Bring one hand to your heart and the other over your belly. And smile into your body, offering yourself kindness and compassion, peace and love. Bring your hands together. Namaste, friend. Thank you so much for your practice. Always just an honor to get to be with you on Friday night or whatever day of the week it happens to be when you're enjoying your practice. Hit my stop record button.